Evening everyone, it's Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. Going to do a quick video for you just on propagation today of a house plant that I've acquired a cutting of. Well, let's say a cutting. I acquired a leaf of from a broken plant at work. So yeah, I'll show you how to do a basic leaf cutting of this particular plant. So that's the part of leaf in question. Came off a broken plant that we had delivered today at work with my houseplant delivery. It's Sansevieria trifasciata futura superba is the variety. So futura superba, it's a bit more of a compact variety, but as you can see, I suppose from this, it does have this wide leaf to it, which makes it a little bit different. It also has this nice curve to it, which the normal straight varieties don't. Common name for Sansevieria is mother-in-law's tongue or viper's tongue, basically owing to this pattern. Anyway, they're an easy plant to look after because they're a succulent, so they don't need a lot of watering. They don't need a nice bright position either. They're quite happy in a part shade spot, but they are really easy to propagate. And as you'll see, this is only a leaf. You can propagate through division, but actually you can do leaf cuttings. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay then, first things first. We've got a little tray filled with a mixture of multi-purpose compost and then probably about 20% worth of coarse grit or a sharp sand coarse grit mixture. So it's got plenty of drainage to it. Gave it a good soak probably about 2 or 3 hours ago. Just let it drain through, so actually the top is moist, but a lot of the excess moisture has gone, so that's kind of what you want, because you don't want something like a succulent, which actually wants a drier condition, to be sitting in a really wet cold soil. Next thing, got your leaf. There's nothing too scientific about it. He says scissors will do, or clean sharp secateurs. You want to remember which way is down and which way is up, because you'll get better success, or you will get success, if you actually put the cuttings in the correct way. So by this I mean that when you put it in, the bottom section wants to be buried within the compost, with the uppermost bit still facing upwards. And then what you're going to be doing is looking to cut in 5-6 centimetre bands, I suppose. So out of this we'll get 3 or 4 sections, and that will be that essentially. So let's just cut the first one. So no real technique involved, although it's slightly harder holding a phone whilst doing this. So let me start, and then I'll carry on filming. There you are. So you can see the sort of size I'm doing. Just go through, so then we can repeat that process, and turning this around to make it easy. So you can see that was the bottom, that is the top. Pop them in. So about half is buried. Give it firm in. And really that's all you need to do. So we'll carry on repeating the cuttings, get them stood in. Right, so there you can see you've actually ended up with, well, 4 decent ones, and then the very top, which is kind of makes a fifth. I removed the very tip because 1, that's damaged, but 2, doesn't give very much of a grow zone either. So I'm basically just going to leave them like that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I should start putting some root out. Probably not a great deal of root because they are slow to root, but you'll probably find that actually they will produce a shoot before producing a significant amount of root. So now it's just a case of wait and see really, and then I'll come back once they've started doing something. Well, here we are. Nearly 4 weeks has elapsed. You'll see we were missing a few cuttings, basically because they've died. I think, to be honest, I've never done the leaf cuttings at this time of year. It's always been in the springtime, and I think they've really struggled trying to be propagated come winter. And it's that fine line between trying to keep your soil dry and moist enough that it'll actually root. And I think really what was happening, or what has happened, is that actually they sat a bit too wet, and the back couple of cuttings rotted, so they succumbed to being too wet. And then I've tried to keep them on a bit drier side, and that's actually hampering them. But anyway, I'll show you what has happened. You'll see that actually this leaf is starting to die off a little bit, but you can see at the very bottom there that actually you've got this shoot has appeared. So although half the leaf, I'll kind of move that, half the leaf, it has anchored a bit as well, half the leaf has now rotted away. It has produced a little shoot at the base, so that's good. I've just checked the other two. I'll pull them out so you can see. They're still intact, starting to callus up at the base and produce a couple of tiny roots there, but actually they've done not a lot. So yeah, not as successful as previously, but at least one has sprouted, so it's not a total disaster, and you'll be able to see what should happen, even if it hasn't quite happened. But yeah, so normally the soil mix is fine, it works well in the spring, but obviously trying to do propagation November, December, possibly on a cold windowsill, isn't the ideal thing. But anyway, that's what we've ended up with, so I hope you find it of use. Yeah, any questions, then please feel free to message me. My feedback will probably be more on what's happened in the past than this time. But anyway, for now, I'll say goodbye, and yeah, see you all soon.